Hello, my name is Tucker. I am currently a junior at Thornton Academy High School. That means I'll be graduating next year. I am nothing but proud and excited to graduate. I have been thinking a lot about what I want to do after graduating high school. Thankfully, I have an individualized transition plan, also known as an ITP. My transition plan has acted as a guide for me over the years. I am able to change things on my ITP whenever I'd like, but all of the ideas on my transition plan are my original ideas for my own life, so it's rare that I need to change things. But of course, there are some things that I've switched out over the years as I've matured. For example, my interests have changed over time. When I was little, I said that I wanted to be a trash collector because I thought it was so cool they got to ride on the back of the trash trucks. I eventually realized that a trash collector isn't the ideal career for me, so I met with my parents, my special education teacher, and my helpful transition coordinator, Ella Russell, to change that. When you're young, it's hard to know what you want to do with the rest of your life.
Hello, my name is Ella Russell. I am a transition coordinator. My role as a transition coordinator is to perform a variety of duties in providing appropriate services to special education students preparing for life after graduation. I link school staff, families, community, and resource providers, ensuring that students and families have access to available services. When I first started working with Tucker here, he was in 5th grade. His special education teacher at the time noticed that transitions have been difficult in his past, especially moving to a new school buildings, such as from his K-1 school to his elementary school. In his 5th grade, when we first started working together, I was planning out his transition plan to make the move from his elementary school to his middle school a more natural, comfortable, and successful one. We checked in a few times over the years in middle school, and then our next big meetings were before and after Tucker's transition from middle school to high school. Do you remember that, Tucker?
That feels like forever ago, but yes, I do. Transition have always been difficult for me. I think it's because it makes me anxious. I don't like being around a lot of people, especially strangers. It makes me very uncomfortable. I've had an individualized education plan, or an IEP as I call it, for as long as I can remember. My specific learning disability is listed on my IEP, and I am autistic. I just have one specific learning disability. I have dysgraphia, which means that my fine motor skills are slightly impaired, which makes my handwriting unclear. I have inconsistent spacing, poor spatial planning on paper, and difficulty composing writing, as well as thinking and writing at the same time. In general, I am not the best at listening and focusing, especially in crowded areas. People make me anxious sometimes. It can be hard for me to communicate my feelings in appropriate ways. Social interactions are overwhelming, however, I do love the great outdoors. I feel safe and independent when I'm outside.
Yes, that's right, Tucker. And I've included the outdoors as one of your interests on your ITP. Knowing your areas of strength and interest are super important when planning activities, transitions, and careers for your future. What's also extremely important is referring to your people of support. It's important for students to have a network of support to rely on, especially during big life events. Tucker, can you tell us who your network of support is?
Yes! I am extremely close with my older brother, Samuel. He's always been there for me and I look up to him as a role model. I am also very close with my mom and dad. My best friend is my neighbor Chuck. We like to play in the woods out back behind our houses. We go for bike rides and fishing with our other friends. I am lucky to have Chuck in a lot of my classes. Our teacher allows us to work together on projects a lot, but she doesn't like when we sit next to each other all the time because then we just start talking a lot and it doesn't help me focus. My family has a pet dog. Her name is Shadow. When we got her, I was in 3rd grade. We love to go on walks and snuggle. She's probably one of my best friends too. Sometimes she really does feel like my shadow. My special education teacher, Mr. Pelletier, is super helpful to me. Since I've been here at Thornton Academy High School, he's always been there to help me in and out of the classroom.
That sounds like an excellent network of support. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks! Me too!
So, Tucker, you mentioned that you get anxious when you're in crowded areas. Can you describe a specific time when this happened?
Yes. So a while ago I vocalized that I really like the outdoors. I thought about how I might want to have a career outside. 2 years ago, when I was a freshman, my transition coordinator, Ella, suggested a whole bunch of summer jobs, community events, and shadow opportunities that I could see what it's like to have a career outside. This was a great idea. These experiences allowed me to figure out what I really enjoyed specifically about working outside. However, it also made me realize what I did not truly enjoy. For example, one of the summer jobs that I tried working was a summer camp for elementary kids. I thought that it would be really fun, but the large groups of wild, energetic children made me so uncomfortable and anxious that I just wanted to leave. But I finished my first day at the kids' summer camp, and then I went home and took Shadow for a walk. And then I reached out to Ella, and I told her how I felt about it. She said, "That's okay. There are some things in life that you love, and some things in life that you don't love." So after I talked to Ella, I called up my boss from the summer camp and kindly told him that I would not be returning. Our conversation actually went really well.
That's right, I remember that. And were there any experiences such as community events, summer jobs, or shadow opportunities that you truly did enjoy?
Yes! A couple years ago, my mom recommended that I try some independent work outside, so I invited Chuck to come help me. We went to a community service event where we were planting new flowers and shrubbery at a local church. I mostly worked by myself or with Chuck, but then I saw a guy digging in a hole and I was curious. He must have seen me watching because he came over and explained to me what he was doing, and that's when I met Bill. Bill owns his own irrigation company. We made a great connection. The following summer he hired me for work, and I loved this. He and I would just go around to different people's houses and install water systems, and I loved it because he was really nice and he taught me a lot. I also got to be outside where it's calm and comfortable. I liked how we built and installed irrigation systems on our own. It just made sense to me. I like to build and I love the quiet of the outdoors. I still work for him every summer and I don't know what he'd do without me. I'm kind of like his number one helper.
Wow. So how has your individualized transition plan supported you in terms of self-determination and self-advocacy?
Well, I have become quite a self-determined person over the years, and I think my ITP has really encouraged that. My transition plan lists personal goals that I stay on top of. I can also refer to my transition plan for reassurance of my future. I have a network of support, and their names are listed on my plan as well. I like how my transition plan lists possible outcomes for my future, and everything is super detailed. I also like how it lists my past experiences, jobs, and opportunities so that I can reflect and feel good about what I've done.
Amazing. And what about self-advocacy?
No one knows me better than I know myself. Therefore, I know that I am my strongest advocate. However, I do know that I can always rely on my network of support. Ella, do you remember when we did that path planning and dream sheet together?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I had never really thought that I was cut out for a job and success after high school, but after having that conversation with you and my parents and doing the planning made me realize the potential that I have.
Yes.
I know what my strengths and weaknesses are, and I can easily advocate for myself when I need to. I now understand that as I've gotten older, how to properly talk and communicate with people for the most part.
And what are your plans for after high school, after you graduate?
I would really like to pursue a career working in the outdoors, like irrigation or landscaping. So I still work for Bill in the summers when I'm not in school, and I'm currently taking foster tech classes in forestry and welding. I really like welding because it's kind of like art, which I love. Also, I get to mostly be by myself when I weld. After I graduate, I have a few ideas. On my transition plan, we have listed a few different ideas. I could live at home and commute to classes at our local community college and get my bachelor's degree in landscape architecture. I could also apply to a couple different four-year universities to earn the same degree. It just depends on whether or not I want to live at school or at home. I'm thinking that I want to be independent and have the full college experience that a four-year college would offer. I'll still apply to the community college and a Reach University and then a safety net school. When deciding which schools, it's important that I make sure that they all offer the degree I'm looking for, or something close to it. My transition coordinator and I have also discussed that it's a good idea to call these possible schools and universities to find out what they offer for accommodations. I'm so excited to tour. I can't wait to see what my future holds, and I'm so glad I had a transition plan all of these years to help me reach my goals and pursue my dreams successfully.
Well, excellent. It's been really nice talking to you, Tucker. It sounds like your transition plan has really helped you blossom into the person you are today.
Yeah.